you can live a life in flow where your deepest heart's desires become reality. At Set to Love, we offer strategies and ideas on how you can stay out of crazy town. See, your human experience is meant to be lived with meaning, purpose, and creativity. You are here to contribute through your essence. We are best friends, moms, entrepreneurs, and above all, find our flow in assisting you to find yours. We come together weekday mornings to bring you ideas to fall deeper in love with your life and the journey that you are on. Take what works and ditch the rest, and always stay set to love. Thank you for being a part of this community. We're all designed to live in flow. So let's go. Good morning.
Good morning. Today's a great day. I'm so excited. My husband's been gone for 3 weeks and he's coming home today. And I'm super excited to meet Paul. So this is an amazing morning.
You don't have to clean your own pool anymore. And we get a little spiritual dive this morning. It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
Well, thank you everyone so much for being here at Set to Love. My name is Eva Payne, and I am one of your hosts, and my best friend that way is Shelly Garrett, and we're so excited.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. So Flow Fridays is where we bring on a guest and we dive deeper into that person's idea of flow and what flow means to them and how it applies to their world. And today we are so excited to bring on Paul Jacobs. So a couple weeks ago, I was surfing YouTube as I do, and I heard Paul speaking and I thought, oh my gosh, he's talking about flow. He's talking about how he didn't set out to become a medium, how it just happened. One thing led to the next thing, which led to the next thing. And he kept flow is following life's opportunities wholeheartedly. And that's exactly what he did on his path. And I thought, I've got to get him on our show. So I sent him an email and he replied back, sure, let's chat. So we are so excited today to have him on. Let me give you a little bio on Paul Jacobs. He is a top international and TV medium. Paul Jacobs is a course organizer and tutor at Arthur Findlay College. He is a teacher and spiritualist. Paul has dedicated his life to serving the spirit, reuniting people with their loved ones, and helping others to discover the reality of their own spirit. You can find him online, mediumpauljacobs.com. Please welcome all the way from, I think, Germany, if I believe correctly, maybe he can correct me, Paul Jacobs, everyone. Welcome.
Yay!
Hi, ladies, and to your guests. It's a pleasure to share and be with you this morning, your time. It's a very late afternoon here in Germany, even though I'm...
Yes, Germany, I got it right.
Yay!
That's great. And it was lovely when I first spoke to you and you mentioned the word flow, because it's a word I often use to people in my own life and my own work. I say, stop fighting the current, just go with the flow of things. And you've just said to your members or your guests that that I'm a spiritualist medium communicating with the spirit world. And I know in my younger years when I began this, most of my friends, when they used to invite me, they say, coming to this nightclub or you're going to this or do that, I'd say, no, I've got something on tonight. Oh, you're going to one of those other things about death and dying on, And a lot of people think that's what a medium is, about death and dying. And it's actually the opposite. The more and more and the more I do this work, I realise my work is about life and living and taking away the fear of living. And that's one of the things with most people is that they're scared to live. If you can fully understand and comprehend that we live for eternity, our soul continues on expressing even after this physical existence, then maybe we wouldn't have that fear of living so much, because you're going to live for eternity. So stop fearing life now and make the most and experience this life, this physical world, which is just one aspect of your expression in eternity, and have the courage to live. That's what your soul needs to express and live, because that's the reality of us. The physical is an illusion. Even, quantum physics have said, the physical is illusion. We as mediums have been saying that and trying to prove that for years and years and years. And, it is the spirit that is the reality. And, if I look at all the people over the years who I've tried to help, and often in like private consultations, when not just about wanting contact for somebody they love in the spirit world, but when they're finding this physical world difficult to live in, or they feel lost, or the young ones don't feel that they're understood, or conflict with themselves and maybe what society and life wants of them and what they're feeling within themselves, it's wonderful to be able to help in that way, because there within our soul, we've all got a quality that we need to express. And if I look at all the people I've given sittings to, I can guarantee everybody's problem in life is the same. Everybody's.
Which is what?
Okay. The circumstances may be different.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not living what their soul needs to live and express. And that's that quality that will give their soul fulfillment, happiness, and contentment within this life and this world. Still doesn't mean we won't have our ups and downs and difficulties and problems, but that's part of life. But the trouble is today, and this is where I feel sorry for the younger people, younger generations today, even though it may have been even more so in our time. But today, I believe each generation is being born with a heightened awareness and sensitivity of that something more beyond the physical, but religion's not answering it or giving an explanation. We've been for hundreds, even thousands of years, been conditioned to live by a church rules, a government's rules, society's rules. And young people aren't feeling that today. They don't want to fit in that box of what might be people class as normality that we should all do. Get your best qualifications at school, leave school, get married,
Wow.
go to career, buy a house. Not everybody wants that. You can't take your house, your car, whatever with you. You can, all you can take is that what you've lived and expressed by the power of your spirit, your emotion, and your memories of what you've given and what you've shared. And whatever we do and express in this life, what it is, yes, one, to satisfy the fulfillment of our own spirit, but in that what we're expressing, being able to touch the soul of other people who we come into contact with, and that their lives be better for our lives touching theirs. That doesn't matter where. Doesn't matter whether you work in the business world, the medical profession, the care profession, entertainment, the arts, even if it is simply your soul and spirit's desire is to be the most wonderful mother in the world you can possibly be. What's more special than that? There's this, in a way, if you want to call it, I know some people don't like the word God, but I use it because it's a universal word. The Greek philosopher Aristotle said, there is something divine within us all. There was a wonderful English philosopher called Sir George Trevelyan, and he used these words, and I thought they were fantastic. Each of us is a droplet of God. And I added to that, wherever droplet I am of that divine, or God, whichever word you want to use, is no greater than the droplet that you are. And also, the droplet I am is no lesser than what you are. And together, if we could all manifest and express that droplet of that divine, each of us are, and together, God, we create vast oceans that are so mighty of life and expression that this world would be so wonderful and creative, and be part of each other and make this a wonderful world to live in together.
So, Paul,
Wow.
I love that's so powerful. And I hear you saying, really tap into your essence to serve. And that's where you're really going to find your happiness. But how does someone know what that is?
Okay.
How do you figure out what your soul really wants for you to do in this world so you can be happy?
So yeah, so you see, the trouble is we live this life, which is understandable by and been conditioned to live by this conscious mind. Okay, so what we've got to look at is this physical body, and the physical body is the vehicle of the soul, and the soul is the vehicle of the emotion, the higher mind, the higher consciousness, because the higher mind survives physical death as well, okay, because it's part of the soul, and then the power of the spirit. So if you can learn through techniques, you know, and I'm happy to share that with your people sometime, is being able to go within one's own soul through different meditative techniques to be able to really understand and experience the power, the emotion of your own soul, of what you've experienced in the past, that which you are now, and discover the potential of that's what you can be and express in the future. That's absolutely wonderful. And sometimes, you know, I mean, you know, if we look, our soul, actually, some people maybe have heard of the auric field. I call it the soul emanation. I think it's nicer wording, okay, which vibrates from us in different colors. So those colors are moving and changing all the time. They also manifest on an emotional level, mental level, spiritual level, and physical level. But I believe there's a color there that tells us the quality within our soul that's always there, that we need to manifest. It can maybe go into different directions, but the quality that needs to be manifest. You know, I'll just give you a little example. I remember giving a young man a sitting, and I told him, not through the colours, but psychically, you know, you're starting a new job, you're moving to another part of Switzerland, you're starting a job in a small office. He says, yes, that's right. And I said to him, you're making a big mistake. And he said, oh, don't say that, please. My father set it up. I said, that's why it's a mistake. It's not what your soul wants to do. It's what your father wants you to do. I said,
wow.
looking at the quality of your soul, you should be going into either healing with the word, either through social welfare in the field, not in an office, or psychology. And he said, I've often thought and felt I'd like to do something like that. I said, don't you realise that's your soul telling you what it wants, what needs to do? So you've got two choices now. Do what your soul wants and be happy with what you're expressing and living, or do what your father wants and be unhappy, you know. So please, I don't want to cause World War III with everybody and their parents, you know. And, you know, our parents, yes, can give us a lot of advice through our experiences, but we've got to remember we're not our parent. We're individual. Our soul makes us individual, and we need to live and express that individuality in our own individual way, in that quality and the power of the spirit that we are.
Paul, I have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
I have a question. Sometimes I'll hear a voice that, I hear it actually quite often. And do you think this happens with all of us, that you hear that little voice that nudges you, that actually really tells you? Sometimes people choose, for me, if I hear it 3 times, the third time I'll act on it. But I'm just wondering what you think about that.
Yeah, if we could, in a way, even if you want to sit deliberately and contemplate on it, and not in proper meditation, if we listen from, you know, if you think in anything in life, when anything affects us, where do we get a reaction? Here, yeah. When you have a shock, when you feel excited, when you're in emotional pain, you feel it all here, and this is where I put the center point of the soul. The soul permeates through our own being. So if we listen to our feelings here, which can then turn into that silent word, okay, rather than with this, or if at the same time we're hearing it, this is telling us one thing and this is telling us something else, this is the one you really need to listen to. Yeah. So yeah, it's like this. Yeah, listen to that still word. And what I said earlier about the meditation I was on about and the practice, and also if we do that, and we can take it to a stage where we can develop and heighten our sensitivity and connect to the power of life and creation. It's the same power that builds that runs through you, me, the bird, the flower, or the tree. And then I believe there's a universal consciousness that we're a part of and intelligence. Then that power, if we develop it, actually we could do away with people like me then, okay? Because that power can then move you, direct you the right place, the right person, the right time. They can inspire you with those thoughts, with that voice, with that words. You know, many of you will have experienced, you know, those of you, particularly mothers, come on, you've used that motherly intuition about
Yes.
children. It's only an extension on that. But if everybody could use that within their lives, in whatever field or expression of their life is, then you'll find that we'll feel fulfilled, and what we're expressing will also be to a better quality and to a more of a betterment of those lives we're in contact with and touch. And it really make that difference. It really would.
So how does someone get past their fear? Let's say they have that gut feeling that they've always wanted to try this, or they have that little voice saying, you're supposed to be going down this path, but there's a fear, whatever reason it's there, that holds them back from actually taking that leap and starting that thing, or applying for that job, or telling the person whatever they're thinking. How do you get past what holds you back?
Okay, that's a biggie. But you know, first of all, we've got
Sorry.
to, you know, sometimes, you know, when I try to give that encouragement and advice to people, quite often they'll sit back to me and make excuses why they can't. So,
Wow.
so I always say, even though they agree what I've said, that does make them feel good, they would like to do, and I say, well, stop complaining about life then, accept your lot and what it is, or have the courage to live. But what we've got to realise, there's no such thing as a mistake, only experience. Okay. And you see, again, the biggest problem we've got is, see, we measure life by this 70, 80, 90, 100 years life experience, where it's only a grain of sand in the desert to life eternity. It's hard for our conscious mind. And if we could accept that, we wouldn't be scared for that experience. But in my life, and all throughout my life, I've never been scared of new experiences. Yeah. I've never, you know, and I've always sort of like, what if I do that journey of that? That's what I feel my soul wants to do. Yeah. What what is the worst possible outcome if I decide it's not what I want, or I don't achieve what I
Absolutely.
and if I'm happy with that, then I accept it. I mean, this is a silly thing. I can remember I was deciding to move home to a bigger home, to another city, whatever. All my family kept saying, "Paul, you're making a mistake." I said, "No, it's what I want," and even coming close to doing it, I had a feeling I might be making a mistake, but it's what I've been really wanting to do. I'm going to do it in experience, and if the worst comes to the worst, it don't work out, then I'll come back to the city I've just left. That's as simple as that. You know, okay, you've got the upheaval, you've got the hassle, but at least I've been and experienced what I wanted to do, you know. And you know, I've lived in 3 different countries, you know, and people say, "Oh, you sure you're doing the right thing?" It's what I want to do. If it doesn't work out, what's the problem? I've experienced it. And if I look at people when we do the communication from the spirit world, one of the biggest things they come back with is regret. I wish I'd only done that. I wish I'd have only given more time to this. I wish I'd have expressed this. I wish I'd have said that. If only. And I don't want to go to the spirit world and look back on my life with regret that I didn't live that where I should have lived and expressed.
That's beautiful advice right there. I love that.
It really is. So my next question is, if there's you talk about surrendering. I've heard you talk about just like surrendering and going with whatever spirit, God, whatever wants you to say or do. So if there's a surrender, that's a part of the process, but there's also this sort of inner desire to create something or show up a certain way. Is that, how do those two things line up? How do you line up to the surrender and just be the vessel and then also line up with what your inner soul wants.
That's what. Well, you see, we're going to look at it. What people saying they want in their life. Is it what this wants, what this has been conditioned, or is it what their soul wants? Yeah. And if you're expressing that what your soul wants, manifest that. So if you got you love music and you felt you got some sort of talent there, then but it gave you some fulfillment when you could express it, then do a journey to see where it leads.
Got it.
It may not believe that you become a pop star. It may not lead to that you become a concert pianist, but at least you're expressing it and you're taking it to the ability that you've got and expressing a part and a quality of you. Yeah, it's like me. I mean, part of me actually, even though I'm a medium, part of me is a quality of a businessman. And that's why even though I do my spiritualist work, I still love getting involved in the committees of charity organisations, or I take responsibility on it, helping people create centres and whatever. Besides my spiritual work, because I've still got that quality there, and it's still a little part of me. But like as a young man, all I wanted to be was a millionaire. But it didn't matter whatever success I had, it never satisfied me. I still felt an emptiness within me. And then it was only when I near enough become a millionaire that I lost everything. And then I became, in a way, I started to drink and whatever, on a self-destructive. I was nearly a broken person. And it was only then that I then went into the depths of my soul and realised that anything of the physical world was never really going to fulfil me. Okay. And it was from that then awakening, then the gifts I had or the qualities that I had, then from that began to open up naturally to the surface. Then I had to train them. And even then when I went to train them, it didn't mean it was easy. I wasn't too sure whether it was what I wanted for my life as a whole, but I thought I'll do the journey. I'll go with the flow. See where it leads to. So I ended up, taking demonstrations, church services, doing reading. I ended up at the world famous college, wrote a book, travelled the world, done TV, but I never set any one of a goal. Those opportunities, as I went with the flow, just presented. And even though, yes, we'll still have struggles and difficult times, so please don't mean it's all perfect when we say go with the flow, all right? But if you go with the flow, you'll find it will naturally lead and open up to things. But then you've also got to see the opportunities and take them and not miss them. And when that opportunity comes, there may be a lot of effort and hard work you've got to put into it. But if I'm doing something and I'm to force something, and I'm fighting against the grain or the flow all the time, it then makes me question, is this right?
Right. I love that. So I want to ask you about synchronicities, because I feel like that sometimes plays into when you're in your flow, those synchronicities start to show up a little more. What are synchronicities to you?
Yeah, I believe not that we're consciously aware of it, okay? That I believe that there's this supreme intelligence, there's this like universal consciousness which we're all belong to, okay? And as I said about this power moving us, it can sort of like in that small still voice direct me. If you're the person that can do something for me to go forward with the flow, that I'll be directed into your path, or you'll be directed into mine, or to make that phone call, or maybe just pick up that one particular magazine and you see that dream job you've always wanted being advertised there, yeah. And that's the way it, and honestly that's the way it works. If I look at myself, when I became where mediumship was concerned, I started having strange experiences which I didn't understand. And that a couple of days later, I walked down this road. I walked down many times, And I stopped and I turned and I saw this building with people going in, and I'd never noticed it before, but it was a spiritualist church. So I walked in, and then the lady come on, who turned out to be the medium, and I thought, I know that lady from somewhere. It turned out it was my father's great aunt who was the medium. I didn't know she was a medium. Then a few weeks later, she said to me, I'm going to Longton Spiritualist Place next week. Would you like to come? And I said, yeah, I'll come with you. And she introduced me to a gentleman by the name of Gordon Higginson, who was the best medium in the world. And that was, in a way, if it wasn't for his influence, I don't think I'd have done what I've done today. 6 weeks later, my aunt died. The crematorium was 10 minutes away from where I lived. I arrived 2 hours early, even though I only lived 10 minutes away. Gordon Higginson, was sitting in his car, and he looked over and looked at me and invited me to sit with him. And he said, young man, I can help you. And I never, was
That's
that
amazing.
was all that chance? I don't believe so.
No.
But you've got to be able to respond. You don't realise, because it's not with the consciousness, it's with the sensitivity, the awareness, the feeling, that silent voice, the power within that will move and direct us and manoeuvre things. It's the same with prayer. If you think, I say to a lot of people, do you believe in prayer? And I say yes. And I say, do you believe prayers are answered? And they'll say yes. But I say, how? And they look at me and I say, because, if you're praying to a God, well, there's no physical God with physical hands and feet. So how can prayers manifest the physical things you want to happen in this physical world? There's only one way, by you and me being the answer to those people's prayers, by us being manoeuvred into that person who we can answer the prayer for, or them being manoeuvred to us because we're the one who can answer that prayer.
I love that.
The last question I have for you, Paul, that was wonderful. But before we have our next guest that you're going to read, is what would you say to people that really aren't spiritual and they don't even know how to start on this kind of a journey, and they think a little bit of it is a little crazy, or, allowing their hearts and their souls to be open, that living a different way could really help them? Do you have a way to help these people that this isn't just a...
Yeah, I've got to be honest with you, what we call spiritual things, there's a lot of the weird and the wonderful. I'm the first to acknowledge that, and to be spiritual doesn't mean hanging all your crystals up or your dream catchers or whatever, okay? And the trouble is, okay, whether you like it or not, you're spiritual. It's there because it's the existence of your being. So you may as well embrace it. It doesn't mean you've got to become a spiritualist. It doesn't mean you've got to join a cult. It doesn't mean you've got to join an organized religion. Just live and listen to the quality of that's within you, and be able to share that with yourself and with those you come into contact with. And in a way, I believe in not God as an individual, but if you look at the power or the father motherhood of God, a power that is the creative force of all of us, which in turn makes us all brothers and sisters. So if we just simply live that loving creative power for ourselves and with those we come into contact with, that's spiritual. You don't have to put a label on or belong to anything, and you don't have to express it in a certain way. You can do it in the business world. You can be spiritual in the business world. In any part of the world. If I go back into England, there was a man, Robert Owen. He set up many years ago a chain of supermarkets, food shops, to provide food at a low price. And then all the profits went back to keep the prices low and provide housing, school, medical. He used his business quality that he had spiritually to benefit and help those in his community and around, make a difference to their lives. So it doesn't have to be in this, full sense. I hate this with spiritual overcoat stuff. you don't have to go shouting it from the. It's what you do from within. It's something within you, and all of you, to one degree or another, have experienced it to one degree or another. It's there, okay? But it's the reality. You just need to allow it to come to that surface that little bit more and express that a little bit more. It would make a total difference to your lives. It really would. And your happiness, fulfillment, and contentment.
Wow. Thank you. That was great. That was great.
Thank you all so much. So what we want to do now, and this was per Paul's suggestion, and we thought it was fantastic. We have a young woman, we'll just leave it at that since Paul didn't want to know anything about her, who is going to pop on this stream right now. Shelly and I are going to head backstage and just listen, and we're going to let Paul do his thing so you guys can see what he does and how he sort of dives into the soul and helps someone along this journey. So with that, I want to welcome Brittany to the call, I think. Hold on, let's see. Yay! Hi, Brittany. Okay,
Good.
Shelly and I are gonna leave you with Paul. You're in good
See you.
hands.
Have fun.
And I'm so excited to hear how this goes.
Okay, good. Okay. So, Brittany, what's going to happen, when we look at the psychic thing, most people think of people being fortune tellers. I'm not a fortune teller, okay? What we look at is the quality of you understand, and the qualities, and look for what may satisfy your soul in the way you express it and live it in your life, okay? So I'm not going to go too personal or anything to embarrass you, okay? Because there within your soul energy field, this emotion, these emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically. There's the past, the present, and then what we look at also is the potential for the future. You've still got then the free will and the choices to make. You understand that, okay? So as I'm speaking and just blending there with you, I'm just looking for the quality of your soul, okay? All right. And as I'm going to tell you what the colours, and they vibrate in colours, Brittany. And I'm very much aware of the blue and the green that's there, all right? So there's two ways, because you're somebody who very much likes, you love communication in different forms, can you understand? You love to express, and in your life, you've got to use your communication skills, you understand, okay? Mm-hmm. And that can go down many tracks, okay? Because there's many forms of communication. There's the communication which we can put under the arts of music, dance, painting. We can then put down the communication skills of, in a way, where we use that communications with a caring quality, where we could look at psychology, social welfare, and counselling, okay? So I actually do feel that there's, in a way, with you, there's both aspects, because your second colour is green, all right, okay? And that, for me, the quality, the spiritual quality of that is being of service, okay? So I know very much there with the blue and green that one aspect that would satisfy your soul would actually be using your communication skills in a way to bring a healing to other people, you understand, okay? And also, as I'm looking at it, so with that we can go down psychology, counselling, but as I'm working with that, Brittany, what I feel would be good, doesn't mean this is tomorrow or next week, I could actually see you in a way, life coach isn't quite the right word, okay? But I could see you maybe creating, because you've got all good organising abilities as well, all right, where you could create something where you could bring groups of people together, where you help them in a way, a little bit like what I'm doing, but in a different way, putting different things together where they can have this journey of self-discovery and expression, but also of healing. So it may not be bringing people who, this is maybe not the right word to use, but in a way, damaged physically, mentally, emotionally, mentally from life's the difficulties of life and the way life's affecting them. So in a way, bringing this sort of self-help in that sort of way, you understand? I know if you wanted to use it, and also because I do believe there's an inspiration, creative aspect there to you, all right? And so you could use that in the normal field of inspiration and creativity in the arts, yeah? But then you could use that also within what I'm just speaking about now. So that's not all written in stone, all right? So you would have to digest, and what I'm saying, it should resonate to your soul and you feel comfortable with it, you understand? But I just feel here that it's as if, in a way, you're on a verge now of, in a way, wanting to begin something new. So I don't know whether you've already got choices to make or you've made it, but I just feel there's some new choice to create and bring a new way forward and a new expression within yourself and your life. That makes sense to you, Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. And you know, I'm just, I shouldn't ask, can I? But have you ever wanted to be on the stage or Brittany?
On the stage, no. I'm very nervous in front of a big crowd of people, so no.
Okay, but have you ever wanted to work in that field or area?
It hasn't really crossed my mind.
No, that's okay. All right, that's okay. It doesn't matter. But what I was saying earlier about this communication skill and this caring quality of being service to help and the sort of ideas I was presenting, did that feel comfortable with you?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't know whether you've had thoughts or you've had your own feelings telling you that before. Okay, but that, again, I gave you an example so you could manifest it. That's not written in stone. The main thing is now is for you to make sure that you live and express those two qualities. You understand that? Okay,
yeah.
All right. So I want to just go back, Brittany, in time because those two colours, you know, I gave you the positive aspects of them, all right? So, but I know it's also they've played the negative, okay? So I know very much here that I know if we go back in your life here, even though you may have had family who cared and loved you, I know you must have gone through as a youngster a period, quite a strong period, where there was this aloneness and loneliness. Can you understand that, Virginia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. And I know here, in a way, with that, it seems as if, in a way, you had to deal with that. You had to, in a way, at times create your own world and your own fantasy. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I know here that you would use your imagination to create things in your mind and stories and a reality that you could feel happy and good with. Would you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, good. And I'm going to tell you something now, okay? You may not be conscious of it or not, or thought it your imagination, but I actually do believe that you have experienced the spirit world, all right? Okay. And you'll find that will come a little bit stronger there within you, or the influence of the spirit world.
I'm so sorry, it cut out. What did you say?
I said, you may not be conscious of it. You may have thought it was just imagination, but I believe you have experienced people from the spirit world.
Oh, wow.
Okay. You may have thought it was just your imagination or whatever, but I know that's there. But I know also, as I'm just speaking to you, I know there's a new opportunity. We're speaking about that. It's as if we're just waiting for something at the moment. Can you understand that?
Yeah.
And it's just around the corner, okay? Yeah. And I know that opportunities is actually, I actually believe the spirit world are maneuvering behind the scenes for that opportunity to manifest. Do you understand that? Okay.
Yes.
And that's what I just want. But also here, you see, it all depends whether I've been aware of the colours. So would you agree that communication is one of your main qualities? communication skills.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And you've got this green with the service. I feel normally the yellow would be there, okay, as well. So I know also you've got this good mind, this good intelligence, and also in a way, you've also got the abilities there. It doesn't have to be as a school teacher, you understand here, but I know you've got this teaching ability as well, and that green. So those three colours there, you know, you could manifest them in many ways, but I think later on, not right now, I think you'll use it more in the caring professions. Can you understand that?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So, can I? But with using that word, yeah, and that knowledge. Okay. So, can I ask Brittany, what do you do in your life, work-wise, or are you hoping to do?
I'm sorry, what was that?
What are you hoping to do work-wise, or what would you like to do with your life?
You know, right now I'm kind of getting out of what I don't enjoy doing in my work life, and I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. I
Okay.
think that I want to possibly go into interior design, something like that. And I'm really right now trying to figure out how to do that.
Okay. All right.
So,
Okay, because like I said, you've got the yellow there, which is the creativeness, the blue, the inspiration. You understand? Okay,
mhm.
so that's fine, and that would satisfy your soul. But because it's the green there, even that will only be satisfy you to a degree. Okay, all right, because I know you've got to use this color green, which is the color of service, but the color of caring. You understand? Okay.
Mhm.
So I know that, you know, we can move in different stages. So that's fine if that satisfies your soul and you've got the qualities to do that with the inspiration and the creativeness. Okay. But also here, I know there's that caring quality. All right. So I know very much you've always somebody who's felt for people, you understand. Yeah. Okay. And you may find you'll want to move that into your actual working life. It doesn't have to be right now, and it's not set in stone that we've got to do it straight away. We all have to experience different things, you understand? Okay. But
Mhm.
I know that's and there. But I know you see, because see, normally I would have worked with the blue and yellow, but the green came up, okay, first, which would normally be a bit lower down. So but the green came up because I know there's going to be green is also the beginning of new starts, new life, and a new way of expressing ourselves. And I know it's just there. So I know it's not just around the corner. So now if you accept that, that's what you want. That's what you're going to do within your soul, Brittany. Okay. So then you'll find then yeah, I always say God helps who helps himself. It's not going to sit in his home. It's not going to just fall in our lap. You understand? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I know because if I mix that blue and green together, okay, that makes the turquoise column, okay, and that also then also speaks about new opportunities because it's got the green, but again, also influenced by the spirit world. So I know very much the spirit world are going to try and help and move and manifest. Yeah. So even though it's not wrong for you to do that because you've got the quality for it, Brittany, but just do remember, I think you'll find a little bit later on in life, you'll start to want to move or be part of this to do using that caring quality of service for people, but using that communication skill in the way I expressed. Okay, good. So is that okay for you, Brittany? Yeah?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Thank you for speaking to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good. Hi, Shelley.
Hi.
Eva. Good.
Well, that was really cool. And what I want to tell our listeners is that beautiful lady is my daughter. Now that we can tell you that. And I think you have her so right on. It's amazing. She is so caring and loving. And, you know, I've encouraged her, you know, I want her to be what she wants to be, but she's very much into health and fitness. And I see her helping people with struggles with their weight and their health. she's just so knowledgeable, and I don't know if that's just a fear of hers. I'm not really sure. She's great decorator. She's done parties. She's amazing.
But like you said about helping people and that communication, you'll find, as you forgive me, I'm not being condescending, Brittany, but as you mature and experience through certain things in life, you'll find you'll want to manifest that caring quality more. And like what I said, that sort of like being like some sort of life coach, or helping people who needs in a way to bring that balance and harmony and healing back, helping them be able to heal themselves. You'll find that will come more and more into your being, but it'll naturally unfold and lead to that, because you've got a sensitivity there, Brittany. There's actually a mediumistic ability there with you as well. So you might find, again, it's something you might look at later on in life as well, okay, to fulfill your journey. We have to go through different stages, but that communication, the inspiration, the word, and that creative mind. Okay, so you can use it in the fields that you're just speaking about. But as I said, as you get a little bit more, live life a little bit more in those left, you'll want to go using that green more of the service with that caring quality to benefit people and their lives and help them heal. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I love, Brittany, that when he first said communication, like I just wanted to laugh, because I know as we've been working together over the last couple of weeks, communication for you was the one thing that you're like, I'm not a good communicator. It's hard for me to communicate. But what I find so interesting is when I think about like really where I see you, where your mom sees you, where Paul sees you, I really feel like being some kind of health and fitness coach would be so in alignment with who you are. And also that communication would come so much easier because you're doing something that you love in a field that you feel confident in. And you're going to be talking to people who know nothing about health and fitness. So you will have so much more confidence and ability to communicate. You are so loving. It's something to consider, because I've always felt like that's an area that you could really do super, super well in, and you would really love to do. And I think all those areas Paul's talking about.
Yeah, because what you'll find is it's then bringing in the spiritual. You'll bring in the spiritual aspect where you could it's not just looking at their physical well-being, it's looking at their emotional, their mental well-being, the spiritual well-being, where you could maybe bring in meditative practices. You could bring in maybe sort of like, besides the keep fit, you could bring in yoga or Tai Chi. It's like doing this sort of holistic thing at all levels around. I feel eventually, I'll be very surprised if you don't create something like that in your life eventually. But,
and you're very calming, Brittany. When I've had times where I've been stressed and I'll call her or whatever, she really has a way of just helping you to get back to a center and to be calm. And she just has a great presence. And Paul, I'm so excited. I feel really grateful that you told her all of these things, because I think her getting it from a different perspective other than just her mom, I'm not just being nice. This really is who she is. And the world deserves her.
Can I ask, are you not in a serious relationship at the moment?
I am.
You are, okay. But can you understand, though, that your life can't be just settled on a relationship? You've got to have this other part of your life. You can't just, because, some ladies that want sort of, or women, they put everything 100% on a relationship, you understand, okay, all right? And I'm not saying it's not wrong for you, it's wrong for you to have, but just a relationship and building your whole life just purely for a relationship and not allowing your soul to do these other things wouldn't be right for you. Can you understand that?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, okay, good.
Brittany, what questions do you have? Do you have anything coming up for you? Anything you want to ask Paul while he's here?
Shoot, I don't have any questions. I'm just shocked at hearing all this, because it does sound, it's almost like I've been feeling this, but I just didn't know what to do with it. I'm sort of lost, and this kind of just opened it up a little bit.
That's right. So and then what I'm saying will help you open that up. And it's what I said to you earlier when I said to you about the young man. And he says, I often felt I'd like to do something like that. So that's your soul telling you. So when I give a reading like this, okay, then, you know, I say to people, you know, don't just go and do it because I've said so. What I'm saying, as I'm saying it, it should awaken or it should resonate and recognize that you've had the same feelings yourself in your soul. So this is what I'm saying. We all hear our soul, but we don't listen to it. And as I said earlier, if we listen to our soul, or the center of our being, more than we listen to the conditioning of this, okay, which, you know, in a way society is trained to think in that narrow channels and views of what we've got to be and what we've not got to be. Yeah, you know.
What's coming up for me also, Paul, is that for Brittany to not have regrets, because a few years have gone by with her wanting to do something different, and time is precious, and to be happy and really be who she wants to be. I think this was a great opportunity because she needs that push to stop existing in something that's just going to pay her bills versus her whole heart's desire.
Okay, Brittany. So if you went for your desire of what you want to express, and if it didn't work out in the way you wanted, what have you got to lose?
Nothing.
Well then, as I say, do it then. Live what your soul wants. Have the courage to live. Express it. Yeah. There's no mistake. Surely it's better to express it not be what you want, or it doesn't work out, and then you can look back, well, at least I tried.
Yeah.
Or then going back, if only, what would have happened if I'd have done that? What could have happened if I'd have done this? But at least you've done it, you've lived it, and you don't know. You don't know what it may lead to, and yes, it may be fantastic. It may be decides that, no, it doesn't feel right, it's not for me. Yeah, it's been okay, but it's just a springboard for me to move on to something else. Yeah, there's no mistakes, there's nothing wrong or right. That's what we need to express. All I'm saying, wherever we want to live and express, as long as it's something we're not look where it's going to cause detrimental harm or damage to somebody else, you know, then just live wherever your soul wants to live. Yeah, you know. I mean, you think I'm getting on a bit now. I mean, I've been doing this for like 35 years, and you can still see the passion it gives me.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know, I had the big cars, I had the big houses, you know, I had a multi-million-pound turnover business. It don't give me 1 ounce of satisfaction whatsoever. But this, I can do something for one person and touch their soul and make a difference, and I'm on cloud 9. It's like I'm on a high. So if I've been drugged up, it's like, you know. And that's what we should, wherever we're doing expressing, you know, it should give that elated feeling, you know, when you want to just don't want to get out of bed in the morning because you don't want to face what you've got to live all day long, you know. And for some people, maybe they do just what we call this simplicity of they're just happy to go to their work, and come home and, put the food on the table and take care of the kid. And if that's what somebody's sold, well, there's nothing wrong or lesser about that. It doesn't mean we've all got to be high flyers, or we've got to become famous in everything, or the top of the profession of what we do. It's what we feel fulfilled within us, and that's what it is, and those qualities.
So, Paul, would you say that the purpose of life is to express your soul? Or let me ask you, what would you say the purpose of your life is? What's the purpose for all of us here? What are we doing?
Okay, I believe that there's this divinity, this divine power within us, okay, which is perfect. Doesn't matter who we are. And I believe that divine power that's within us, that perfection, to learn to be able to express that in our actions, in our words, in our thoughts, and in our deeds, so we can make this existence in this physical world a little bit better, one for ourselves, but also for those who we share this world with. And if I can go out of this world, and I think if we can all say the same, it doesn't matter in what way, that I've touched one person, and their life has been better for my life touching theirs, no matter how long for or how briefly, then my life here has been all worthwhile. You know?
Wow.
But you see, but when I physically die, it's not going to end. And it's sort of like, you know, and also I'm not going to become an angel with wings or floating on a cloud. You know, I will continue from where I've left off at this level. So if I leave this world, physical world, with my life feeling empty and barren, then when I move to the spirit world, that is the type of heaven or hell I will create for myself, an empty barrenness. Yeah. I want to create something rich. I want to create some beauty from within my soul, you know, to move forward with in my new expression for eternity. And none of us are going to express that perfection here in this life. It'll take a long time to do, you know. And when I say that, please, what's all that noise in the background?
I'm sorry, that was my dog. This is live. What are we gonna do, right? So sorry.
I thought we'd got a gremlin.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay. You know, I'm not talking about false spirituality. You know, I'm not perfect. Yeah, I might upset people sometimes. I sometimes can have a fiery temper. That's one of the things I keep trying to work on. I've been working on 30 years. It's still better. I've still got a fiery temper. But that's part of me. But accept me for that. And I can still love me for that, you know. And this is what we've got to do. You know, we've got to learn to love ourselves. It's not egotistical. Because if we can't love ourselves, how on earth can I love you or anybody else? Yeah. Because I haven't got that love for me, I haven't got the love to give. You know, and we all deserve of loving. Doesn't matter who we are, what we've lived, what we've expressed, what we've done, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, I'm not, you know, some of the things I've done in my past, you know, I'm not particularly proud of them. Okay. And I can't change them. But I don't allow them to have a destructive and negative on where I'm living now and where I can live in the future. Yeah. You know, when we die, there's no St. Peter on a gate ready to judge us, to send us up there or down there. Okay. And when I first came into this spiritual work, I didn't think I was a good enough person or a nice enough person from where I'd lived in the past. And my teacher, Gordon Higginson, he said, Paul, will you go and read the life of St. Paul? And I did. And if you look at St. Paul on the road to Damascus, if you look at the lifestyle St. Paul lived before, where, you know, murder, killing, or rape and pillage, okay, but he recognised that spiritual light, that something divine on the road to Damascus, and he became a new person. Wow. Yeah, what he did in the past, no matter. Yeah. So I change. It's got to be that change. But we'll only do that if we recognise that something divine, that power, the spirit within. And it will be a power, a love, and a support. They'll see us through all things. It's far greater than anything man can ever create. It's that, you know, it's a divine power of all life and creation. We're a part of it. Let that power manifest within us. Let it move us. Let it use us. Let's express it. Let's live it. Wow, what a world we could have if we could all do that. Yeah.
What a world we could have. Paul, it has been such a pleasure having you on the show today. Brittany, I'm so grateful that you came on. Thank you so much for being.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Absolutely.
Paul, I'm sending you a hug. I just want to hug you for the gift you gave my daughter. Thank you so much. Okay. I mean, I just adore you, and I hope you'll come back and teach us some more things. And
yeah, certainly.
That would be great.
I wanted to let everyone know that Paul is offering a free course for our listeners and for our listeners' friends. And it's going to be October 21st, which is a Wednesday. It's going to be about 2 hours. Reality of your soul and the power within. So what is your soul? What is the reality of your soul? And how do you tap into that power? How do you get into that space to where you can know what your soul really wants and learn some of these techniques that Paul was talking about in the beginning of the episode? Paul, is there anything that you want to touch on about this course? What you might be
Yes,
sharing.
so I'll be able to give you practical exercises I'll take you through, which then you can use for yourself on a regular basis to heighten your sensitivity, strengthen the power of you by embracing the positives within you, changing that which you can change, releasing the negativity, in a way also lifting to be able, in a way, to move on to another level consciousness. So this power is able to manifest in your life and be able to move you and inspire you in your life.
Yay! That sounds amazing.
Yay! What a wonderful day.
Great.
Yes,
Yeah.
just RSVP to us and let us know, and we'll get you that Zoom link and you can join us. We'll be recording it and putting it on our Patreon page with all, of course, the information will be copyrighted to Paul. Everything that he ends up teaching is proprietary to him, but he's happy to share it with our community. It'll be there recorded. If you happen to miss the live October 21st teaching, it'll be on our Patreon page. You can send us questions or RSVP at settolovepodcast@gmail.com. And Paul, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure, Shelley. Pleasure to meet you, Brittany. So
It's so
remember,
nice to meet you.
just have that courage to live that what you desire and inspire within your soul, Brittany. No mistakes. There's nothing wrong. Just do it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Good.
And that's to everyone out there. Just do it. Follow your
Just
flow.
do
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.
You take care. All of
Yay.
it. Speak
I
soon.
love you, Britt.
Okay.
Bye. I love you guys.
Bye-bye.